Labor, also with the right of establishment and the right of residence.
She says the Forum of the East African Community has scaled up the level of interaction between dialogue parties.
EAC dialogue has since adoption scaled up the level of interaction, synergy and collaboration between the dialogue parties themselves and government. The Forum has provided a very big opportunity for the private sector, civil society, and other groups to be heard and achieve the integration pace and discretion. Just this week, I was very, very humbled. I had a session of some 2 hours with the Private Sector Foundation, and they gave me feedback which I could not find in the treaty or in the work at the community.
Dina Asimwe, a stakeholder from East African Sub-Region Support Initiative for Advancement of Women, says traders at the borders of Uganda and Tanzania have not exported their maize to Tanzania.
Since around November, December 2021, traders have not been able to take their maize into Tanzania. We've tried to follow up this issue with different agencies at the borders, but without any clear information coming from the government of Tanzania as to the cause of this problem.
She therefore asked the Minister for East African Affairs to help handle the situation.
Today we are here on the National Consultative Forum for stakeholders, where we are gathering issues that we need to be tabled at the East African community. We have requested the Minister of East African Community Affairs to table this issue to the Minister in Tanzania, find out what exactly the problem is, because it is not a problem of quality. The maize is meeting the quality we have always been supplying to Tanzania. The traders at the borders have lost contracts. Those who had to supply to other traders on Tanzania side, other consumers, they've lost contracts. Businesses are suffering without any clear issue. And this contradicts with the ideals of the East African community, which call for free movement of goods across the borders.
The minister said that in the next council, they will be handling the issue of sanctions.
There is a provision on the trade regime. But what I found there, people are pussyfooting around sanctions. They are pussyfooting against telling people that you are doing something wrong. That's what I found there. But we are going to address it in the next council. This next council, we are going to talk about sanctions and what to do with people who are not non-compliant.
Issa Babu, Kevin Nandera for Smart 24 TV.
Thank you, Kevin, for that particular report there, highlighting for us progresses towards what we want with the East African community. Yes, we want the single currency because we want to trade effectively. And I will emphasize again, we still do want what we call the language that binds us, East African languages. We've got a lot of languages happening around the East African bloc. If at all you look at Uganda alone, a number of over 40 languages. And when you cross to Kenya, how about that? And then we've got the DRC, and then we've got Tanzania, at least Kiswahili there. But then we've got a number of languages. Look at Rwanda and Burundi now. So how are we going to make sure we help people here understand that, yes, you are coming on business with Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, DRC now on board, but this is what you need away from, you know, your custom of trading, away from you just making sure you say nzuri and the other one says ndio, I want this, but then there is that
habari kamili.
What?
Habari kamili.
Is that the beginning language that I was talking about?
No, I'm getting my Kiswahili words all together.
Abarika, did you get the response that you wanted the other day when you were asking?
You told me. I don't remember, but you told me the following morning.
Language is very important because business, you cannot do business without communication. Even when you're deaf or you cannot speak or talk, there is a sign language. How do they, Bakasidu, they're disadvantaged in that particular way. They're deaf, they know hearing, neither they're speaking.
But they know money.
But
You know,
Money language.
money language is very, very, very difficult.
Okay,
to understand.
how do you then trade even when you know money language? You know to count the money, yes. You know to give the exchanges. You know what the 3 Kenyan shilling is equivalent to in the Ugandan shilling. But then you do not know to bargain for that particular product. That means you're going to incur a lot of costs. Even when you know the money technicalities and you know to transition from the dollar to the shilling, from the shilling to the pound, but then you lack that credibility around, you know, speaking with the seller, with the service provider. This is a factor that is evident that you're going to incur a cost of Rita to translate for you to speak Rutoro. If you're going to, okay, very well, let's put it in a Ugandan context. With over the 30 languages we've got around the country, you want to go to Western Uganda, let me give an example of Toro, and then you want to buy something. To help me, if you need something from an old lady, she doesn't know English that you want to communicate, because at least it's a standard, and then you want a product, what are you going to do, Joram?
I will have to invite a local there to help me out.
And you're just going to invite them for free?
Okay, obviously there's some bit of money you're going to pay to them, but you know, there's one thing I do understand about money, is that money language is absolutely very unique. You can speak to someone even without communicating, but as long as you have the money with you, they can easily tell you, you can easily communicate.
That means bagenda kufeda.
Because
if
remember,
you go with
if someone speaks, let's say Kiswahili, and you're not good at it, and they will actually tell you, if a product is, let's say, here in a Ugandan context, and they tell you the product is 11,000, he will tell you, he will actually say, maybe kuminemo by 11.
Okay, the other thing to do it is about basonga products, because I've seen that, or the service they want. Someone doesn't know to bargain, but wants to deal with that person directly there and then. I'll come to you, Joram, and then you tell me the price. Or you can rate it, because they know
exactly.
I give you the money. Because you lack the bargaining energy, the bargaining, you know, that control, authority there, I'm going to take advantage of you. That is, that's, you know, that happens anywhere across the business around the country. We're seeing it happening with even the fuel prices, with commodity prices. Then how about if you don't know to trade fairly here? But what I can conclude here with the East African community integration that is coming up, because everyone now is getting up to speed. Rwanda is at it, DRC, Kenya, like it's like a competition coming up. Who is going to be the first to sign up DRC on this particular deal, on this particular deal process? So everyone is making sure they tap into certain opportunities. And I feel like we are neglecting each other. Do you realize that? Well, Uganda certainly is focusing on DRC.
Every country
Kenya is focusing, and we are neglecting the opportunities.
But you think DRC has no idea of what is ahead of them? They're also now focusing. You see, DRC is, I believe also DRC has the opportunity. It's targeting 5 countries now. Even though it is only one person against the 5, it is also targeting their market.
But where then does it leave the other 4 countries, the other initial 5 countries or 6 countries that have been on board? Do you realize, Bowo Montwaze Omopia Muchitundu? Let me give an example, Kusomero. There is a new student that has come, learners, you're in holidays if you're watching. Then you tend to just pay off your attention to the friends that you've been having, and then you're focusing on this new entrant. You're actually forgetting that there is a possibility you're going to be bounced back, and you without getting what even you wanted. And by the time you realize to go back to create this bonding that was here with these particular people, with the neighbors, it will be too late. So sometimes we have to consider these relationships, how to keep them, even when we have got a new entrant coming. But how do we keep the ties we are having? Jerome, what is next for our next story?
Well, Twitter has been trending lately, the last 2 weeks, speaking of hashtag MK at 48, MK. You see, back then we used to read books of MK publishers, MK. So Twitter has been having the MK at 48, MUHOOZI Kainerugaba at 48. He's a lieutenant general. in Uganda. And his sumptuous birthday celebrations are happening tomorrow. Quite a number of venues that have been set aside. There is a Lugogo Cricket Oval for the entire Ugandans who have been invited. Then there is one at State House. That the invitation, some people are saying, is it an event? You know, a lot of things. And surprisingly here, now for one that is going to take part at the Lugogo Cricket Oval is that traders have been denied business access. So there is no room for you to go out there and sell your commodities like concerts happen.
Where outside the Lugogo Cricket?
It is a birthday of a general.
Okay.
So you are not supposed to go there with your biscuits. Over the weekend, Lieutenant General MUHOOZI'S
Did you even have to mention
48,
biscuits?
And the celebrations will be held at Lugogo Cricket Oval with a magnificent event where every Ugandan is invited. It will attract numerous activities, but this time, unlike the previous similar events, traders won't exercise their duties.
When you say all Ugandans are invited, I have a feeling that let us first look at the story and get to know which particular Uganda is invited. But also, for more detail, after the break, we will surely engage more detailed information about this organized event that is going to happen tomorrow. Take a look at the story, and you never know, you could be one of the invitees, actually.
The commander of Uganda People's Defense Lands Forces, Lieutenant General MUHOOZI Kainerugaba, who is also the first son, will celebrate his 40th birthday in a glamorous style. The event, which has been organized with a concert that is open to the public, has come up with serious measures which have restricted the traders from selling their goods at the function. According to the chairman organizing committee, Michael Toyota Kaguta, the function will attract many VIP guests who will be entertained by a number of local artists, including Jose Chameleon, Bebe Cool, Cindy, among others, together with the Rwandese artist Masamba Intole.
We are, because where we are having our function, it's under management, sports management. They don't allow that. So for us, we shall have our own drinks that we shall serve for those who want to sell, maybe if they manage to get outside. But here, it's under management. They are the ones to decide.
Unlike the previous birthday celebrations that attract the public, like the one for Kabaka of Buganda, Ronald Mutebi, the business community have been granted access to sell their goods. However, for this case, the organizers are going to provide everything, food and drinks, to everyone who will attend.
Very well, and you have had clearly how you actually may not access the trading areas if you're a trader, anticipating that, hey, there is going to be a huge crowd, there is going to be a lot of many people, but definitely how many people are going to need, what did you mention? When you look at the
biscuits, sweets and
sweets, yes, this is kind of business that actually highlights. But I have a feeling that inside the cricket, inside the grounds, there is going to be maybe they have already prepared. You know, birthday preparations. Everyone has already prepared for their guests. So the guests are already going to be contented, which is why they may not need a trader around the premises of the cricket oval to be there aligning their products. But regardless, or besides that, what would you be doing there? Or what are you actually wanting?
They've invited all Ugandans. They've invited all Ugandans.
But no traders, because it is very clear you are off trading along Kampala streets. Kati, when you go in those particular promises, honestly, what do you be wanting to cause to yourself? And no take out tambalabo, no take out biscuit. Honestly, you have to be honest to yourself at some point and put things in. Okay, maybe masks would sell. Masks would sell. Do you know that?
They would. But still, there's a...
But you can do that on the road because that ground is connected. There are so many roads interjoining each other to lead to cricket oval. So probably you can say to yourself on the road.
Like you said, were just off the street.
Yes, it's not allowed. So you're there definitely at your own risk when selling that. But Durham, you'll be there. I tend to believe. You're resisting it. Why are you resisting it?
I know. I'm still thinking of the right answer to give.
You're still thinking whether you're going to be there or not, or whether you want to be there or not.
No, I would want to be there to see what is happening from there, in a business perspective. And as a matter of fact, because it is a celebration, I've seen a lot of people who have been invited. There was also a list that the Lieutenant General himself set aside for the people who are coming to as well take part.
Since every Ugandan is invited, because the message is very clear according to the organizer.
But they were giving out invitation cards. So that means, I believe, the invitation cards, okay.
But we're also going to understand more, because in this particular regard, being a Friday, we definitely want to understand what is behind these particular special celebrations that come along in this particular regard. After the break, we will definitely engage with the organizer to highlight for us on this particular event when the first son will be celebrating his birthday tomorrow, and what kind of businesses shall be happening around there, or what kind of ties will come along after these particular celebrations. Because I have a friend, she happened to get, they are now married, they got each other, or they came in contact with each other at a function, at a wedding of a friend. So I tend to believe this event is as well going to connect very many people in regards to social life, in regards to culture, as well as people who are going to make business together. So let it not just stop at going to a birthday celebration, celebrating life with some other people, but what is it in there for you when you go there? Can you try to make contacts? Because at the end of the day, people we meet are the ones that, you know, give us a step ahead. That's what I believe at some point.
Very true. And more of the details will be coming on your way here on Smart 24 TV.
This is Smart 24 TV. We take a short break. We return with that detail, like I said earlier, to speak more about this kind of special celebration. Do stick with us. This is Smart 24.